How do you know if you're helping someone you love or just making it easier for them to stay sick? That question might be the most painful one you'll ever have to answer, but also the most important. I've worked with a lot of families over the years, moms, dads, wives, best friends, people who love an addict so deeply it hurts. And in that love, they start doing things that feel right in the moment, but slowly start destroying both of them. I remember a mother who used to message me constantly about her son. He was living in her house, actively using. She'd ask me what to do. I'd tell her gently, firmly, he had to go. She didn't want to hear it. A year later, she found him dead from an overdose in her home. I don't say that to scare you. I say it because the truth matters more than comfort right now. This video isn't about shame. It's not about judgment. It's about clarity. It's about helping you step into a kind of love that doesn't protect their addiction, but protects their chance at recovery. If you're loving someone in active addiction, you're not powerless, but you do need to know the line between love and harm and how to stand on the right side of it. Stick around because this could save both of your lives. Hey, ever since my TEDx talk came out, Relapse Prevention Failed, I've had a lot of people ask where they can get this shirt. So I went ahead and made a merch shop for you. It's a drop ship, so would love to get you some of these shirts. You can see them right below. Every one of these supports this channel and supports this message, getting to more people in recovery. And if you get one, make sure to send me an email at adam@recoveredonpurpose.org, and I'd love to send you something else. Enabling doesn't look like evil. It doesn't look like a villain twisting their mustache while plotting someone's downfall. It usually looks like love. It looks like just trying to help. That's what makes it so dangerous. It wears the mask of good intentions. Let's be honest. Most people who enable someone in addiction don't even realize they're doing it. They're paying their rent so they're not homeless. They're letting them stay in their house so they're not on the street. They're giving them money for gas, food, bills. But let's be real. That money's not going where they say it is. And even if it is sometimes, it's still freeing up funds for the addiction. I've watched this play out too many times. You're not just making their life easier, you're making their addiction more comfortable. And addiction only ends in two ways: recovery or death. There's no in between. So ask yourself, are you helping them stay alive, or are you helping the addiction survive? There's a difference between helping and rescuing. Helping leads to change, rescuing leads to repetition. You don't need to be cold-hearted to stop enabling. You need to be clear-hearted. You need to know the goal isn't to ease today's discomfort, it's to build tomorrow's freedom. So before you pay the next bill, make the next excuse, or cover the next lie, ask yourself, am I making it easier for them to stay sick? Because that's what enabling really is. So how do you actually know if you're helping or enabling? It comes down to one question. Is what I'm doing pushing them toward recovery or protecting their ability to keep using? Helping is anything that supports their path to getting clean. That means offering to take them to a meeting, getting them into treatment, connecting them with someone who's walked through it and found freedom, sitting with them and saying, I love you, and I'm here when you're ready. Enabling is everything else. It's bailing them out of jail when they haven't even admitted what they did wrong. It's giving them a warm bed and a full fridge while they're still lying, using, and causing chaos. It's believing their 20th promise after 19 broken ones and letting them talk you into one more try on their terms. Helping is rooted in truth. Enabling is rooted in fear. One moves them closer to freedom. The other shields them from the consequences that might finally wake them up. And I get it. It's complicated. Love makes this hard. But real love doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Real love knows when to say no and still mean I love you just as much. If what you're doing is keeping their addiction alive longer, it doesn't matter how kind it feels. It's not helping, it's hurting. And the sooner you can name that, the sooner you can change it. Let's be real. People don't enable because they're weak. They enable because they love the addict and they're afraid of losing them. They remember who we used to be, the child, the friend, the spouse, the sibling, and they hold on to hope that one more act of kindness might be the thing that brings us back. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Love without boundaries is not love. It's self-betrayal. I've seen moms let their addicted sons lie to them, steal from them, and treat them like garbage, all in the name of keeping him safe. But what does safe even mean when he's dying slowly in your guest bedroom? I've seen girlfriends cover for their boyfriends, pay their bills, even take the blame when he crashes a car high. Why? Because he's got potential, because he just needs time. The heart behind it is noble, but the results are devastating. Most people enable because deep down, they think they can fix it, that if they just love hard enough, help long enough, something will finally click. But let me be really clear, You are not their solution. You are not their savior. You're their loved one. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop rescuing them. Let them fall. Let them feel it. Because pain creates the crack where the light can finally get in. Here's something most people don't want to hear. Rescuing isn't love. It's fear dressed up as compassion. Real love says, I'm here for you, but I will not protect your addiction. Rescue love says, I'll do whatever it takes to keep you from falling, even if it kills both of us. I've watched people lose themselves trying to save someone else. They abandon their own peace, health, and identity trying to hold together the chaos of someone else's addiction. That's not strength, that's survival mode, and it's not sustainable. Rescue love creates a prison for both of you. The addict never learns the cost of their choices, and the one doing the rescuing starts to believe it's their job to keep them alive. That is way too much weight for any one person to carry. Real love is different. It stays available, but not entangled. It offers truth with kindness and boundaries with grace. It says you can always call me, but I'm not sending you money. You're still my son, but you can't live here while you're using. It hurts, it's hard, but it's the kind of love that might actually save their life. Because when we stop trying to rescue them, we give them space to reach for something greater than us. And that's when change gets real. Let's talk about the side of enabling nobody likes to admit. It's not just killing them, it's breaking you. You don't sleep, you wait for the next call, you live in constant anxiety, wondering if this will be the overdose. You're afraid to say no, because what if that's the final straw? I've talked to moms who have lost years of their lives trying to manage their child's addiction. I've watched wives and husbands go completely numb, not from lack of love, but from too much heartbreak. You didn't cause this, but if you keep trying to carry it, it will crush you. Enabling doesn't just delay their rock bottom, it creates yours. And listen, I get it. It feels cruel to pull away. It feels heartless to say no. But ask yourself, is your love giving them life or giving them permission to stay sick? This isn't about abandoning people. This is about finally refusing to play a role in their destruction. When you stop enabling, they might fall, but they also might finally stand up. And you'll stop drowning in guilt, confusion, and pain, and start walking in peace, strength, and clarity again. That's not being selfish, that's being wise. Helping someone in addiction doesn't mean fixing their life. It means showing up in ways that lead them toward freedom, not comfort and bondage. So what does real help look like? It looks like offering to drive them to a treatment center, not to a job interview when they're still high. It looks like introducing them to people in recovery, not bailing them out so they can go get high again. It looks like answering their call to say, I love you, and when you're ready to get help, I'll be there, and hanging up when they start asking for money. It's knowing the difference between supporting recovery and sponsoring destruction. This is where you get your power back. You set clear boundaries, you don't fund their lifestyle. You don't provide housing unless there are recovery terms attached, random drug tests, treatment participation, actual willingness to change. And no, you don't guilt trip yourself for protecting your peace. Boundaries are love in action. They create the space for change. When addicts don't have consequences, they don't change. It's not theory, it's fact. And when they're ready, that's your moment to show up hard. Get them into treatment, sit with them at a meeting, help them write their fourth step, let them cry on your shoulder during the fifth. But until then, love them from a distance strong enough to hold your boundaries and close enough to still whisper, I believe in you. Because that's how we really help. If you're still asking yourself, but what if I'm the only one they have? Then you need to hear this again. You are not their savior. You are not their solution. You are not their source of recovery. That doesn't mean you stopped loving them. It means you stopped sacrificing yourself to carry a burden that doesn't belong to you. There is a line between compassion and codependence, and too many of us cross it thinking we're being helpful. If you're making excuses for them, if you're covering up for their messes, if you're lying to protect their reputation or shielding them from consequences, that's not love. That's fear. It's fear that they'll hate you, fear they'll fall without you, fear that letting go will lead to something worse. But here's what's actually worse: living in chaos, losing yourself, and staying sick alongside someone who doesn't want to get well. What if the thing they need most is the one thing you're afraid to do? What if your no is the first domino that leads to their yes? You're allowed to love them and still protect your boundaries. You're allowed to pray for them and stop enabling them. You're allowed to believe in them, without sacrificing yourself on the altar of their addiction. This is your permission slip. Hold your line, love with truth, and when they're ready, you'll be there. Not because you're trying to fix them, but because you never gave up believing they could be free. If you've made it this far, it means you care. And I want to honor that, because not everyone sticks around for a conversation this real. Here's what I want you to remember. Loving someone in addiction doesn't mean rescuing them. It doesn't mean fixing every mess or softening every fall. Real love is strong enough to say, I believe in you, and I'm not going to keep making it easier for you to stay sick. It takes courage to stop enabling. It takes strength to hold your boundaries. It takes faith to trust that they'll find their bottom and their way back up without you cushioning the fall. And if they do, you'll be able to stand beside them, not as the one who saved them, but as the one who never gave up. If this hit you, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and let me know what stood out, or who you're trying to love better right now. If you're struggling with whether something you're doing is helping or enabling, rewatch this, pray on it, talk to someone who gets it, because people do recover. And sometimes the first step toward the recovery is someone finally saying no. Thanks for watching, and continue living Recovered on Purpose. If you want to dive deeper into this subject from an old Recovered on Purpose podcast, you can click right here. Or if you want to watch my TEDx talk, Relapse Prevention Failed, and how we can solve this crisis together, you can click right here.